Hello there, ChickChatters. We are back live to discuss Ultimatum. This has been a roller coaster of a season for me.
Oh my gosh. Even just the season dropping was a roller coaster for us. I feel like usually we know a little bit more about it, but this one was not as heavily advertised.
No, it wasn't. And it was weird because normally at the end of Love is Blind, they would tease something like this. And of course they didn't. Hold on, my husband chooses right now. Yes, Dean? Will you hurry up and give it to me? I'm live. Jesus Christ. Sorry, that shouldn't go on YouTube. My bad. Anyways, so
Welcome,
we have like 6 couples or whatever this season, or at least we start out that way. I'm so bad with names. You're probably gonna have to help me with some of these names because unless they've made themselves a name for themselves, yeah,
we'll get there. I'll do it on the phone.
Yeah, so how right now we're just gonna kind of go over all of the episodes. I kind of just did one big binge the last couple days, and I've done a little bit of deep diving. In fact, I even of a few nuggets, a couple nuggets with the help of Reddit to kind of get this popping. So
I want to hear a nugget.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with the original couples, and then whatever their deal is, and then we'll get into the others. So
right, sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna pull these people. I don't have the best image of them, but honestly, they weren't around long enough for me to care about them. Anyways, this is Vanessa and Dave, I believe. I don't really understand why he doesn't want to get married, but apparently all of them obviously want to get married but are not getting married. But he seems like he was drugged here by the soles of his feet. Like he was forced to be here. He does not want to be here. This man was just giving me nothing.
I was actually surprised to see him end up with the girl that he ended up with. I mean, we're going to talk about this like everybody has seen all these episodes, so I'm also not shocked that they all just disappeared in the night. But I was surprised as hell to see him end up with, what is her name?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I don't know her. Will you look up the names real quick?
I'm trying.
Have all these viewers. But anyways, I do want to say the girl he's with, I don't know if she looks like an actress or if she is an actress, but I've seen her before. I swear, this season is in LA, so part of me wonders if half these people are actors. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It does seem
a lot of these girls look familiar. I think Sandy looks a lot like Jessica from Love is Blind, but a younger version of her.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sandy to me looks like if Lana Del Rey and Jessica had a baby.
Right. Oh, that is true.
Thank you. I didn't know they had Biscoff coffee. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. He got me a coffee from Jack in the Box, and it's Biscoff, Brooke. Look at that.
I love
Biscoff coffee. Crazy. I've never had one before. Thank you, Dean. Oh, he's getting these dogs out of here.
Thank you for your services to Anne and to the country.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, my husband's active duty military. He just got home from work. So
her name is Chanel.
Okay. Well,
the other
girl. Yeah. So
Vanessa.
Yeah, this couple, I don't have too much to say about them, honestly, to start the day. Same with these people. This is Caleb and Mariah, and they kind of look like siblings to me. I'm not gonna lie, but
they do a little bit. They were probably they had the least amount of personality, although Caleb, I think, eventually shined a little bit more. He had more reason to shine. Mariah was just alone the whole time. She reminded me of how I would have used the time, just sitting there quietly and contently, not bothered.
Work, yeah. Really,
but that's probably not the best way to use the time, although she didn't have a lot of control over that.
Right. And
so I think it was her that's giving the ultimatum.
Yeah, and he was easier to watch date than her. It just seemed like she was kind of like cringy a little bit, but she did strike up a connection with, oh my God, what's his name? not them. This guy here. I even kept these couples together at one point because I'm like, they're going to leave anyway, so might as well just leave them on the same damn...
That's so, yeah.
The
That's so
same
true.
damn thing.
His name is Micah.
Yeah. Mariah and Mike. So
they're the ones who left.
Yeah, these are the 4 that left. We'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about them. Now these people, we have Aria and Scotty Tuhade. I call him Scotty Tuhade because the song Scotty Tuhade. He is not hot. In fact,
Scotty is the one who gave the ultimatum here, and I don't know. I have a bad feeling about Scotty. I don't think he has good intentions. I don't want to go as far as to say he's not a good person because I don't know him, and I know that production likes to do some funky things, but you can't funk up a tone. You can't funk up words and how you're coming and talking to some of these women.
Yeah.
And there's just some scenes when he talks to everybody that he comes sideways. He just does not know how to handle conflict whatsoever without being a raging crazy man.
Yeah, he's very abrasive.
He is. He's just grumpy all the time. Like, everything triggers him. And then he doesn't know how to let it go, which I'm glad that he ended up with Zaina, because Zaina does not shy away from conflict. So, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I think he needed a little bit more of that.
Yeah. He was a lot for me, too. User Alien, you are right. He says a lot of things without any words.
That's true. Very true.
Very true.
Thanks for joining us.
Man, I wish I had a better picture of these people right now because I didn't realize how blurry it was. But we have JR and Zaina.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to tell you what I figured out about Miss Zaina.
So your tease about her?
Yes, it is. So we have a little bit of a franchise crossover here. Do you know who she is?
No.
She is related to Cheyenne Floyd. And you know how I figured this out is because when I was looking through her Instagram, Corey, Cheyenne, Taylor are all liking every single one of her photos. And then I get to, hold on.
Hold, please.
Hold on. The tea. Then I get to some photos on her page that actually are of Cheyenne. I don't know if she's a cousin or a friend, but I'm assuming she is Cheyenne Floyd's cousin from Teen Mom. This is them together.
What?
Yep. They are, I believe, related. And it makes sense. LA is a small area.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was at Ace's birthday party. She's at all the events. If they do a big family photo, she's in it. So I was wondering, like, why is she familiar looking to me? But we've probably even seen her on Teen Mom here and there. So, yep, she is related to Cheyenne Floyd somehow. Look at her with Cheyenne. And, yep, being godparents. Like, she's close. She's either a really, really close friend or a relative. And I think she's a relative because everyone in Cheyenne's family is beautiful. Every single one. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this girl is beautiful. She's so beautiful. I thought she was the prettiest one there. And then when I saw that she is related to Cheyenne or like somehow involved, I'm like, of course. So I thought that was so interesting because every single one of her posts almost, you'll see either Corey like it or Taylor. And when I saw Corey like it so many times, I was like, damn, like, Corey really is into this girl, like, whatever. And then I saw Taylor liking all these, and I'm like, okay, but they're liking posts before the season's coming out. So how do they know about her? And then I saw these photos, and I'm like, oh, she is related. So there's a Teen Mom Netflix crossover for you guys.
Wow. Wow, I am just taking it all in. Okay.
That's why I said I was excited. Know about it.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what area this was in because usually they film in a city. At least on Love is Blind, I know they do that for a reason. Maybe not so much on the Ultimatum because these couples come as couples, so they're probably already based somewhere. But it seemed like they were filming out of LA. But then I also saw some signs or something that said Phoenix. So I don't know if you guys have any more clarity about that, but I do think a lot of these people are from LA. Anna and I were trying to figure out their accents and whatever, but a lot of people from LA usually move to
California.
LA,
Yeah.
California, that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
anyway.
believe this season is basically LA, California, whatever. I mean, especially when you see Cheyenne's family involved.
Yeah, that's true.
And basically, like, the way this was set up was so strange. It's like they all went to the same places. Like, they must have had a gym on this block as the same block as the apartment. So, like, everybody's seeing everybody way too much.
I think so too. I think they need to start rethinking that whole situation where they have people living that they know where each other lives. I know it's probably a lot of trial and error for them, but yeah, they have them all probably just like in Love is Blind, living in the same apartment complex, probably on the same damn hallway, passing each other, probably right above a Starbucks that all of them are going to go to at some kind of time. There's only so many gyms to go to, bars to go to. There's a pool connected to this apartment complex. And there were times I saw the couples in the pool that I was just like, your ex is probably up there seeing you.
Out the
Were trying to
window.
eat dinner, seeing their exes down there. It just that was wrong. That was not the right location at
Yeah, it
all.
was just too close. I know that they usually live in the same building, but I feel like everybody kept running into each other and it kept affecting the story. So
a lot of things affected the story.
anyway, so we got this here, and they are Sandy and Nick.
Yeah.
And he is something else, but we'll get into him. He has got to be 20 years older than her or something. He looks way older than her. I don't know if
38.
Okay, so he's near in his 40s, and she's like what, 24, 25?
27. So they're a full 10-year age difference, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't understand this couple. I never understood them from them joining and them explaining why they're doing this. It just seems like he's not old. 38 isn't old, I guess I say in my 30s. But he's not old, but it does come across as this old man trying to chase this young girl. And it's silly. What are you doing with her?
Yeah.
Find someone who you connect with. I don't see what they connect on at all. I haven't seen them be romantic. In fact, when they get back together, they don't even do what couples do. So.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't know. It seems like a very superficial type of relationship. Like, she might be into the fact he does art or whatever, but yeah, like you said, I don't see it here. Like, I don't know why they would even consider getting married anyways. So
all the other couples definitely have their problems, but these two, I just don't even really understand why they're together. And the more that we get through the season, I think everyone probably starts to question that too, because Sandy just cries all the time whenever she interacts with him. And she said that they were having such a hard time before they started the show, that she was begging him to be around and all this stuff, which again is so weird. Just, you're 27. If you're not happy, and 27, I'm sorry, for a woman, it is around the age that you do start to think about the biological. It's not like ticking, but you start to think about, okay, maybe things need to start getting in order. So if you're not wanting to do that with a guy you've been dating for 2.5 years, there's a problem with him. Just leave him.
Yeah. And there's also, I mean, this doesn't go for everybody, but there is something to be said sometimes for guys that go for so much younger girls. Like, maybe he can't pull somebody his own age because he's really immature. And he's probably my cousin once told me that she had a boyfriend that was, now excuse my language, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but 5 years betotted. And I don't think that's a thing. I think that she just told me that to tell me that he's immature, but maybe he's like 10 years betotted.
Possible. He definitely does not have any emotional intelligence, any high level communication skills. He's not good at a lot of this. I give him a lot of grace because he had a really hard experience, but at the same time, we saw Mariah have a really hard experience, and she dealt with it a completely different way because she's already dealt with a lot of her issues personally. Although
he made it hard. He
did.
made it a lot harder than it needed to be, but
he did. Yeah. Yeah.
To each their own. We'll get into their little living situations in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't have much to say about the other couple. I don't have like a one-on-one picture with them because honestly they didn't stay that long, but I'll throw them back up here. That is Mike and Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
They, along with Dave and Vanessa, they really don't last that long, but they all pair up with other people. I mean, Chanel pairs up with Dave, and then Mike pairs up with Mariah. Vanessa pairs up with Nick.
Right.
And it
I
just,
had a lot of hope for Vanessa and Nick. They
mhm,
started off so strong. He was
they
talking
did.
about how their souls were bonded and all this stuff they've met in a past life and all these things. And then I don't know what happened. It did get a little bit awkward once he started talking about missing Sandy a lot.
Yeah.
That definitely, I think, made her feel uncomfortable and even jealous a little bit because she even said a couple of times, I'm here, we can be together, kind of thing. But he was very fixated on Sandy at the moment. I think it was right after he learned that
Yeah.
Sandy and JR kissed.
Yeah. And if anybody knows what she's acted in or whatever, just drop it in the chat because I know I've seen this girl before. I've seen her
It
in
does look
something.
familiar. Yeah.
She has to be an actress of some sort or she just looks like one. But somebody let me know because I
Hmm.
swear she looks familiar. I can't pin it down. But
She does. Yeah, she does look really familiar. And her man, Dave, when he saw her connecting, all of a sudden he's all, I want to leave, blah blah blah,
mhm.
and she said, I'm excited for this next phase, and then she left. So I just want to know if she got uncomfortable for the situation. I just want to know what happened. I know you and I were talking about this is, if it's based out of LA, there might not be people who are there as legitimately. Obviously, everyone is there
Mhm.
for fame, but you have to also be there for the experience or you're not going to make it. And so my opinion was that I thought the two couples that dropped out just maybe were there for fame and
Yeah.
it got too real for them. But I
Yeah.
think you had a different opinion, right?
Well, we can get into that right now. Let me pull this up. So
Yeah.
I was doing a little bit of digging around. At first I kind of thought maybe they all left at once like that because mind you, 4 people left in the middle of the night like they were refugees.
They
So
did. They talked to each other on the side. I think there was even just minimal footage of it. I think a lot of them were trying to hide themselves even leaving.
hmm. So, we saw this crazy side of Nick and everything. And I was looking around on Reddit, right? And this comment made me question. It says Vanessa probably left because she realized Nick is a walking red flag. How convenient is it that he ran into his ex the next day at Starbucks after the choosing ceremony, and then he had just happened to be sitting on a bench facing their apartment balcony watching them eat dinner that one night. Even JR commented, I didn't even know you knew where we lived. A lot of those moments had me raising my eyebrows. Also, did anyone else catch Sandy giggling when JR was telling Nick he needs to leave? She's just as toxic. And it does make me wonder
Yeah.
if Vanessa was having these experiences with Nick. Somebody did say, or well, I'll read that other comment too. 100% with Nick and Vanessa, you can see it on her face. That's why she's now saying you only see 1% because now Vanessa has been going online saying that she will talk more
Right.
after the reunion. So I
Yeah.
wonder if something happened between her and Nick where he just had a meltdown or something because
I agree with this. Yeah, because this is what I was wondering as well. Because who is it? Mariah, the other girl? Mariah. The other girl who was alone, she also didn't want to spend her time with Nick. And when you and I were texting about it when we were watching it, I said, I think she's scared because he's shown himself to be emotionally
mhm,
unstable. He's very self centered. And I think Mariah was actually doing a good job at challenging him with that. And I wish that there was a safe way for them to live together. But the more that I keep, hearing, and this is confirming my suspicions that Nick was potentially dangerous and manipulative. I don't think anyone should have been living with him. But
yeah.
Mariah would have challenged him on that, I think, because she always spoke up and she was like, I'm sad too. I got left too. You need to stop just focusing on your own self and your own sadness and doing nothing but that. And she helped him out a lot.
Yeah. But those conversations were like few and far in between. And there is a reason why they didn't put those people together. And I can't help but think that that has to be it, because normally we will see people like in the last season, the pregnant couple that left, the people that they were talking to paired up together, if I remember right. And they didn't have a connection, but they still had to go through the experience. And it is taking away from the experience if you don't have somebody to go through the experience with. So even unless she felt unsafe, I don't understand why they wouldn't have just put those two together, because you don't have to sleep in the same bed. You don't have to sleep in the same room even. One person can sleep on the couch. I mean, MGK, who I'll always call him MGK from last season, but MGK and blonde-haired girl did that the entire last season. They did not sleep in the same bed, I don't think, one time. So they could have done it, but I think that there is something up with this Nick guy. He is dangerous in some form or another. Because otherwise, these people all leaving in the middle of the night. I mean, yes, I think I saw it on. It was the Micah. Is it Micah? Is that the name? What's the name of the guy? Mike. Mike was just torn down, terrified when somebody picked Chanel. Please keep her safe. Yeah, like it just
Micah, yes.
Dave and Micah and like that, they did not want to be there. So the second I feel like Vanessa might have told so and so, maybe Dave, she probably ran into him at the gym because all these people were running into each other with no cameras. I don't understand why there wasn't a camera at the Starbucks, at the gym, everywhere. Like there should have always, all this should have always been caught on film.
Yeah, they have those apartments on Netflix, like in the circle, where everything is everywhere and they don't let them go nowhere. Why don't we have that? Why don't we have that? Just pay these people their appropriate money, because you rake it all in Kinetic and Netflix and whoever is in charge of this, and just film them 24/7.
Yep. Speaking of the couples leaving, let's read this Reddit comment. So this one says both couples left because it was a domino effect. One couple leaving directly impacted the other. Micah wanted to get the F out of there and wanted Chanel back. Dave then panicked and convinced Vanessa to get out of there. Now that is a theory. Someone said, I'm not surprised by Chanel and Micah leaving and Dave wanting to leave as well. However, I feel like Vanessa should have at least had the courtesy to say something. She probably saw that they wouldn't work since Nick wasn't all over her. Well, it wasn't all over Sandy, or wasn't over Sandy. Oh my God, I cannot.
Wasn't at all over Sandy. Yeah.
Yeah, but Nick poured his heart into you, and you just leave him without saying anything. Now, I've seen though that she is gonna say more after the reunion, but yeah, I definitely. That's another theory, is just that they all just wanted to get out. I do think they all just wanted to get out, but I am inclined to think that something happened between Vanessa and Nick. She confided in Dave about it, and then Dave talked to Chanel, and Chanel's like, well, I don't really want to be here either. Like, I think we already...
Yeah, I think that this was a group decision more than just one couple over the other, because I agree. I think something went south with Nick very quickly, where Vanessa thought that Nick was, a kindred spirit with her and was going to be so happy with her and whatever, and he would not stop obsessing about Sandy the second they got in that apartment.
Probably.
And then we had that whole robotic interaction between, what is his name? Micah. I can't even remember his name because he's so vanilla.
Yeah.
And they never introduced us to that couple. They gave us introductions to every other couple. I think they do that every year. There's one that they just never introduce, and then they just appear on the screen. You're like, who's this girl? She's gorgeous. Why didn't we talk about her?
Yeah. She was really pretty, and then all of a sudden she was there. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Same thing with Micah, and he's so quiet. I was like, did I miss him? What is going on here?
So this comment says, Vanessa commented saying it was for her mental health, and when asked if she apologized to Nick, she said she has nothing to apologize for and that she'll speak more after the reunion. I personally think there was an altercation between Nick and Vanessa that contributed to that couple leaving. She likely didn't feel safe with how he was acting, and the other one, I simply think Micah did not want to be there at all. And that's exactly where I'm at. That is exactly where I'm at with this.
Yeah.
I think something happened, and those other couples, even when they were doing the dating stuff, Chanel said many times, like, I don't know if I want to be here. And she said it to Dave, and Dave agreed. So it wasn't a stretch to get those people out of there altogether like that.
Yeah.
And
It
Dave
wasn't.
seemed angry when he was packing it. I don't know if he flipped the camera off or whatever, but he seemed angry. So I feel like something happened. But I do want to say it does piss me off every time couples leave during the ultimatum, because you know exactly what you're signing up for. I get if they left because Nick was a psychopath, and I hope we figure that out, and I hope that that gets cleared up here sometime soon. But I know that there has been, or I've heard that there has been contracts for Love is Blind that they would get a $50,000 fine if they leave the experiment or whatever. Why don't we have the same fine on these people who leave Ultimatum? Because this is like 2 seasons now in a row where the whole timeline, the whole storyline, everything gets so messed up because these people just up and leave before
Well,
they
this
can
is
get
the
started.
worst that it's ever been with that, because
Yeah.
at least last year with the couple that was pregnant, they left before the choice. They left during dating week.
Mhm.
At least people weren't paired off. It definitely threw
Yeah.
people off and made people probably less happy during the trial marriages, but they could at least still pair everybody up together in some way, shape, or form. This left 2 people alone, married to their damn selves for their trial marriage, and not everybody can deal very well with being alone. I think Nick is a little extra crazy, whether he's alone or not alone, but obviously being alone wasn't any better for him. So I don't know. I agree. It made me really upset. There was a point for probably 5 to 10 minutes after these 2 couples left that I asked myself, do I even need to watch the rest of this season? Because I'm just sitting there in my head trying to figure out who in the hell is left. We got what, 3 couples left now, and one guy who's probably going to lose his mind. And I saw him sobbing in the "To Come This Season" trailer, and that was too much for me. That was hard to watch. That was really, really sad. It went on for too long for us. I understand they were trying to portray a message that he was really hurt, but to have him out here banging on doors, being sad, begging to see Sandy, having a whole
We'll
other
get
man
there.
pretending to be her husband, I would just, oh my God.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, after it was the same thing though in the last season when the couple left for being pregnant. I almost didn't watch the whole season after that because that couple brought everything. They had domestic violence, they had pregnancy, they had drama. They had the guy with the lingering eye, like he was really going for that other girl. Like it was when they left, the whole season went to crap. It was just Roxanne and MGK carrying the whole rest of the damn season.
True. We did at least have like Scotty and Zaina. They were a good couple to watch.
Oh yeah,
couple.
I
And then
think this
JR and
season
Sandy
was
obviously
still
were the stars.
yeah, I think this season was still worth the watch, obviously. I mean, this season got a little bit crazy. I think Sandy carried it, but yeah, it got crazy.
I don't know how either.
Speaking of Nick and Vanessa, here's our Nick and Vanessa, the Lachey's. They got their own couples photo. Why is Netflix doing this with them? Anyway, it's like they're one of the contestants. When they did their little like opener or whatever, they got to tell us for the millionth time about how they did the ultimatum. I just love how on every one of these shows, like Love is Blind, they're like, we were basically Love is Blind because we were a phone conversation relationship. It's like, you guys knew what you looked like. Y'all met on TRL. And then she, and on the ultimatums, I was like, well, you know, I gave Nick an ultimatum. But then we learned in this season that they have the same damn birthday. And I'm like, well, this makes so much sense. They really are the same mother effing person.
They are. I think we give Nick Lachey sometimes too much leeway because they're exactly the same.
They are
100%, a million %. They're meant for each other. I support it at this point, but I just still don't support them on my television anymore for these damn shows. They just got to be inserting themselves into every little bit of everything.
Especially her. Nick, if you do just Nick on Perfect Match, he's so chill.
He is by himself on Perfect Match, which is so funny. Why?
Random. It's so
he just
random.
wants to go on vacation away from Vanessa.
Yeah. So anyways, everybody got to dating. They all matched up. We got all different couples. While they were doing the dating thing, they did do the little cast get-togethers, and there was a little bit of drama there, especially, between Scotty Too Hottie and Z. I'm gonna just call her Z because I don't know her surname. Zaina.
Zaina, I think so.
Zaina.
Yeah.
And Arya. Yeah, she saw them holding hands, and that was just an absolute no. So, although I don't think that was that bad. I mean, I kind of see what she's saying. Don't do it in front of me. But y'all are all doing this in front of each other. So
I agree. And at the same time, though, they do have these side dates that for some reason they didn't show us a whole lot of that this season, which I guess I'll take it. I don't really need to see a bunch of people dating that aren't going to end up in a trial marriage together. But I guess that's maybe where some more intimacy can happen. That's where some intimacy happened with JR and Sandy before they choose each other.
this man be over here looking like the damn Weekend, though. Like, why did he
He's
wear
a dog.
sunglasses inside?
He is angry all the time. The way that I saw him do this whole interaction was the first time that I just thought he had red flags.
Similar face I was making every time I saw this man with sunglasses inside looking like the Weekend. He looks like the freaking Weekend sitting there. He's too comfortable. Like, this is the weekday.
And that's how he stayed after Arya walked away crying too. He just
didn't care.
That like that. I hate that kind of arrogance. I understand if you're not going to let someone else's emotions mess with your emotions, but to just sit there arrogantly taking up all the space, like you're just I hate men like that. I'm sorry if you're a man like that.
Yeah, this girl was upset. I mean, she was having a nice little conversation with what was the other guy's name? Oh my gosh, I love him. What's the other one? The only one I like. Yes, Caleb. He's the only dude I like this whole season. I thought he was brilliant.
And that's who she ended up with too. The guy who was supporting her when she was crying, which I thought was a crush.
Yeah, I think she really wanted to pick JR, but once JR picked Sandy, she was like, all right, well, honestly. And she got lucky. She had oh my God, you just said his name.
Caleb.
It's gonna kill me.
I know.
Yeah, and he was amazing, and they were so cute. I loved them together. It was just the cutest damn thing of all of it. Look at her.
Yeah. Sometimes when she did certain faces, she would remind me of Cardi B. I think it's her little nose, but she'd scrunch it up sometimes, and I'd just be thinking I want to hear her go,
yeah. I liked her a lot. I did like Zaina. I do wonder if she kind of was a little bit more like perfect for the camera, because this girl seemed almost completely flawless. I mean, she's beautiful. She was down to earth. She was well spoken. But when I figured out she was related to Cheyenne Floyd and stuff, I was like,
well, duh.
She was bred for this. She was bred for reality TV and to be the what is it, the rational one or whatever. So
yeah, they just have the perfect family, that Floyd family.
Yeah, JR is crazy for not marrying her. Like, he doesn't realize how set up he would be. Like,
I don't understand I just don't understand.
Knowing that that's her family or whatever, even if she's just friends, that means
just her, just her. I'm sorry, I don't want to compare in a mean way, but just her versus Sandy, it's just. Although I will say, looking at JR and Sandy's relationship when they weren't being all, trying to be overly physical with each other, they did seem to have a good connection. And I don't know how much I saw of that with Sandy or with Zaina and JR. They seem to have a lot of their past just bothering them. They didn't seem very happy together.
He always looked like this.
Yeah, every time he's with her. And she's not miserable, so there's something going on.
I just have a theory that like JR is just a little bit of a fuckboy in a way.
Yeah.
And that's why he's kind of more interested in somebody that isn't as serious, because I don't think he takes it as serious anymore since he's been married. Like I think he just wants to date around. I think he got lucky as hell with Zaina, but I don't think he's actually gonna be smart enough to lock that down. I don't know why, but yeah, I really don't think he's gonna do it. So
yeah, no, I think Zaina is the whole entire package, and
Uh-huh.
I don't understand at all why she would be begging a man like JR to marry her. Just let JR go do the things he wants to do, because she's just always going to be begging him, and she does not need to beg anyone for anything.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
So, but Zaina ends up with Scotty Too Hottie here.
I hate
She was
him.
drawn to the fact that he was the guy that gave the ultimatum. And I'm so sick of the guys that give the ultimatum, because the whole time they're like, well, I'm one of the few guys
Yeah,
that
they're
gave the
so
ultimatum.
arrogant about it.
Why? Who cares?
Yeah, they act like they're the prize, and this guy thinks he's the prize either way. So
Look at him. Look how he's standing. He was,
I know.
I mean, I love confidence, don't get me wrong, but he was one of those kinds of guys where, like, if you are in a disagreement with him, he will never say sorry. He will never
Yeah.
back down from it.
Yeah.
He was very, like, it's my way or the highway kind of guy. Like, sometimes when he would just talk over Arya or even Zaina, and he would just get so easily defensive. And
He was easily irritated, just always angry and
mhm.
aggravated and yelling. And then my man was over here. This online that says that he's 30, right? Why is he over here all the time throwing the fact in Zaina's face that she's 32? He
Right.
did it multiple times saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, what do 32-year-olds do to have fun?" because she didn't want to go on a damn hot air balloon because it would make her anxious. I hate this man. If you are that easily triggered when you are rejected for an idea of ridiculous idea of a date, when y'all are just sitting at home, you want to go on a hot air balloon? No, maybe when I plan it and mentally prepare for it, but not just randomly. No. And if you are that
Yeah.
easily triggered, you are not ready for nothing. You're ready for therapy.
I'm about to be 32. And even at 22, neither of those things would have made me want to do anything with him. I hate heights. I'm terrified of heights. She might be too. And who wants to be cold? Like, who wants to go freeze?
That's not a date idea. That's something like an activity you go do with your friends, or a spa thing that you go and do by yourself, like going to the tanner. That's
Or
not,
like a
let's
husband
go
or
try
something.
this out.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like a fun date idea. Like,
No,
let's go
who
do
wants
something
to?
fun and
I don't
different.
understand that at all. And then he brought up her age again, too, when he was trying to call her petty when they were arguing about the things that everybody else is talking about. He says, "Don't you think at 32 you should hang up your petty jersey and all of this?" Sir, you are 2 years younger than this woman.
I know.
You're alone. Look at yourself. Look at yourself.
Look at him. He
Yeah.
was giving her that face too almost all the time too. Like, I
He
don't know.
has a face.
He definitely has a weird face. I don't know if he was drunk half the time, but that is quite the face to be
Yeah.
staring back at you, criticizing you all day
It's
long.
always the men with the drippy cross earrings that are just red
Drippy cross
flags.
earrings. Yeah.
Walking red flags. Not even trouble, like trouble in a spicy good way. Walking red flag in your red suit.
Yep. He even wore the red to signify he was a red flag.
He did, because that's what he is. Just a big old red flag. I don't like that man.
Even
I don't
seeing him
like him.
interact with Arya in the beginning, it was so apparent that this man just has a really big problem with communication, and he
Yeah.
needs therapy or somebody to help him kind of relax, like, just
Yeah.
if somebody says something to you, you don't need to take it offensively. You don't need to be all up in arms. He was so focused on the JR rumor or whatever that he let it ruin the whole rest of their experience, because otherwise they were doing okay. I mean, she
Yeah.
was making him breakfast. He did get weird about her eating without him. I was like, okay, sir, like,
So I
she had a
heard
snack.
online that he had said on social media somewhere that that scene was really edited, and that that was actually a joke or something. But even still, that's my whole point about, I understand, we all know, we all watch these Netflix shows. We know that the editors are up to sometimes no good, but they're trying to entertain us, and usually that's
Yeah.
fine. But the thing about all of this is you still say what you say. Your tone is still your tone, and the topic is still the topic. And so if we see a pattern of you having a tone and saying things that you could have maybe put a little more thought into thinking had you cared enough, then I'm still going to develop an opinion about you. And who sits like that when they argue?
On the toilet.
I know.
Like the man wasn't even pooping. He's just sitting on the toilet mad. And in this scene specifically, she's just saying, you know, I ran into your ex and I kind of just told her about what happened. And then he's like, well, I don't know who wakes up at 1:30 in the morning with their phone. You're talking to shit. And they already smoothed this over. He just got mad about it all over again for no reason, just to pick a fight with her because she talked to his ex about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. You know what? I wake up at 1:30 in the morning and I go into the bathroom with my phone because
who
if I'm
doesn't?
going to be in there for more than 30 seconds doing one of the things, and I'm being there longer doing the other thing, and I don't want to be bored.
Who doesn't? Before people took magazines, people take entertainment to the toilet. Like,
They do. It's happened since the beginning of time. That's when I do some of my best investigative work at 1:30 in the morning.
yeah, and I'm not gonna just get up at 1:30 in the morning unless it's like a quick pee or something. Like, I'm going to bring my phone. I even need it for light half the time to get to the damn bathroom because I don't want to turn the light on.
Very true.
And this man on the toilet, does he have a phone in his hand? Because he better not. Like,
so true. Why is it that he is talking about going to the bathroom at 1:30 in the morning while he is sitting on the toilet? I mean, this is just really ironic to me. And then the fact that this man is not making any damn sense at all, and she just calls him right out on that as well. Talking to myself would make more sense than talking to you right now. And I cackled when she said that. I was like, thank you for putting this man in his damn place, because he's so annoying and so self-centered, so self-righteous. He thinks he's just the greatest thing in the world. The greatest thing you have going for you right now is that you have Zaina hanging out with you. So you better just stop it.
And what's funny is I never heard this man say anything about the hall pass. I think it was Dave, or there was a few other people that said it, but I never actually heard him say it.
I think Nick is the one that said it.
I think Nick is the one that said it. But I don't think, and I think somehow it got blamed on Scotty, but I think Nick and Dave, and I've heard a couple people say it, but I've actually not heard Scotty say it. So I don't know. I could see like standing up for yourself being like, listen, I did not say that. I don't know why somebody would say that. And if you won't even tell me who told you that, I can't even help you here because I didn't say that. So I don't know why somebody would say that I said that. That's fine. Leave it at that. But this man had to dig deep and deep and deep and be like, well, it must be Raina or Zaina or whatever.
It was so bad. So I'm not surprised at all that this couple crashed and burned. Zaina had to say what she had to say. She had to stand her ground. And I do think that they had some good memories together. I even love the way I'm in love with Zaina, I think. I don't know. She just carried herself so well. Even when they ended up saying goodbye to each other at the end, she reminded him that those 3 days don't define the 3 weeks that they had. She's just an all-around great person. He does not deserve her whatsoever. And I'm not surprised that he lost her in 3 weeks because he don't deserve it.
Now, they would have been a cute couple had he had a whole personality makeover, but
an entire one through a licensed and experienced therapist.
Yeah. It's like the guys like this, like, it's funny. The guys who issue the ultimatum, like him and Nick, are the last people that should be getting married. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
It's usually the guys that want to get married, not all the time, but a lot of times it's the guys that want to get married so bad that would be not great husbands because
he just didn't seem to have even that much to offer, even other than his desire for commitment. But he has such anger issues and he's so irritable all the time. I don't think he's actually ready for marriage. He's just ready for
overtalks. He talks a lot, just like User Alien said earlier. He talks so much and he says absolutely nothing. Like, he over explains, over talks, gets overly defensive. And he's definitely not my cup of tea. That's all I got on him. But I will say, at least even though he annoyed me, it wasn't like he wasn't overly crazy. Like, he didn't have meltdowns like Nick and stuff like that. He would just be petty for 3-4 days.
But let me tell you, if that man was alone for 3 weeks, I don't know what he would do. It might be worse than Nick.
I do not either.
It might be worse than Nick.
Yeah, what couple you want to go on next for I think we'll save Nick and or JR, Nick and Sandy, that whole situation for later.
Well, we can talk about the quiet ones then. Caleb and
yeah,
what's the name?
let's get her up here. So we got. I just had them. I thought. Hold on. Yep, them. We have Caleb and Arya, and I just loved their whole trial marriage. I thought that was the cutest thing. I love that they were just kind of friends and they worked themselves up, but I do think they kind of low-key got feelings for each other. They were always hanging out. It seems like people saw them out and about the most. They seemed to like to do a lot of activities together. He put together that little spa day, and I thought that was the cutest thing in the world. And he wore
It was so cute. They were just taking care of each other, and he asked me, he's like, do you feel taken care of? I just thought it was the cutest thing ever. But then come to find out, when she got back together with her man, she said that he didn't plan a lot of dates or anything.
Oh, you're cutting out. You cut out a little. Yeah. Okay, you're back.
Okay. That must have been the only thing that he did, because she said that he didn't plan a whole lot of dates.
Yeah, he planned a ton of dates, and he was really there, attentive. He listened to her a lot. They communicated so well. In fact, I think they handle conflict similarly. I wish, like when they met her parents or whatever, or was it her parents or his? I think it was her parents. They met up with her mom or something like that, or a sibling, or I don't remember, but they were like, oh, it was her brother. And he was fingers crossed that she ends up with Caleb and not.
Yes, because they were saying, it is funny, because they were saying that her current partner reminds all of them of her dad, which we didn't get the backstory about her dad, but obviously the relationship is not good if she was saying she's not going to choose a man that treats her like her dad because she can't choose her dad. So not good there. So I think if you are having issues with your father and your boyfriend reminds you of your father, you probably shouldn't be demanding to be wed.
No, probably not. But he, and I think that might be a lot of her hesitation with, what's his name, Scotty Too Hottie, because he is so hard for her to communicate with. He talks over her. You know, it's what he wants, and you know, if she wants something else, he kind of gives her hell about it. So I don't know, it was so nice to see her like really flourish with Caleb, and I think he flourished a lot with her. Like if he didn't already have a girl, I'd be like, this is my power couple here. This is who I want to get together.
Yeah, they were at least the healthiest, and I think their relationship developed the most organically. I think if these two were together for 2 more weeks, they might have even started to smooch.
Maybe a little. I think he was so loyal though to his ex that I'm not sure if he actually would go that far without actually being really broken up. But
this is the dilemma for me about this show, and it drives me crazy because it makes me feel like I'm morally wrong. But I just want to see these people hooking up and kissing and whatever. But at the same time, I understand that you're going into a show and at least one of these people wants to be married, wants to commit to forever. And so it would feel very weird to feel like even though you're broken up that you're cheating, and those emotions don't just go away because you decided whatever. But I just get frustrated with this show because all we got this year was 2 little pecks, and I just wanted more.
Oh, it was more than 2 little pecks, but you know, we saw like 16.
Well, 2 sessions of several.
4, like 4. Like 3 or 4.
No,
they kissed at the dinner table. They kissed in bed, and they also kissed at the pool.
He kissed her head in bed.
No, they did a peck on the lips too.
Oh,
in a different scene.
I missed that one.
They kissed a few times, quite a few
Whatever.
times.
They just be pecking. That's not even.
Their ass. Okay, let's just go to.
You're telling me that Sandy and JR are not capable of more.
Yeah, he smacked her ass at the bowling alley. Like,
that's
and
okay.
She didn't even react at all. Like she's used to it. Like she, you know, like if my husband walks by me and smacks my butt, I'm like, okay, whatever, because like it's a normal day. But if I'm at like somewhere and I'm with a group of friends, if someone were to smack my butt and I'm like, hey, whoa, even if it's a girl, like I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know, she didn't even look. She knew whose hand that was.
Of course she did.
I think so.
I
I
just,
think they were a lot closer than. I actually think that they straight up hooked up, but that's just me.
I wish that they did. And maybe
I
I'm
think
wrong
they
for
did.
that, but
I
yeah.
really think that they did after that pool scene where she's all laying on the bed all weird. Like I know that, that could have just been to make us think that, but I just can't help but the way these people were all over each other physically that they didn't at least, touch around.
And I feel like I noticed as their relationship progressed, they touched each other less. It seemed like
You
they were
think?
almost less. I feel like they did. And almost
Oh.
the last week they were arguing a lot about Nick even, and he was being kind of salty about how Nick's
Yeah.
presence was impeding on his relationship with her, which is fair.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't think that that's necessarily her problem that you need to make it her problem. She's doing her best to manage a guy who she has been dating for a long time and to try to get the best out of
Mhm.
her own experience. And you're over here demanding your own stuff. Figure your own stuff out. Like, I have to be in charge of me and the person I came here with.
I know. I like how he was like, you come here and you're caring for me, and then you're also managing him, and it's like, okay, she's not a therapist. Like, let her
She
figure
didn't
out her
ask
own
for it.
stuff.
Yeah, and she didn't ask for any of that. She didn't ask,
No.
for Nick to be left alone. How horrible.
Yeah. I do think that if they slowed down on PDA, it was literally just because of Nick. Like, if had he not had a blow up, these people would have been smooshing.
Yeah, I think Nick definitely got in the way physically, emotionally for
Uh-huh.
both of them, and I think that they did get a little bit frustrated about that part. But yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I saw them physically touching a lot less as their relationship went on.
The man Nick watched them eat dinner from across the street or something, like staring through their window. Like, how
So
crazy.
maybe that's what happened, but I got the perception that he was walking down the
They
walkway or
said he
something.
was sitting on a bench in the
That's what
scene.
the internet said.
No, in the scene he said that. JR said that. He said, "Oh, your ex is out there sitting on a bench."
Oh, I thought he said your ex was walking by.
No.
Maybe, yeah, I could be wrong, but
I watched it twice. But
that's crazy.
yeah. So yeah, so he noticed Nick on the bench, and then she started being like, "Oh my god!"
I
But them
know.
having dinner together, like, why would you even care to watch that? Like, what do you really think is going to happen during dinner? What are you trying to catch them in?
I don't even know if he was trying to, if he really was sitting there watching them. I don't know if he's trying to catch them per se, as much as probably torture himself. What in the world are you doing?
Yeah, but I don't believe he was just out there sitting on a bench in front of their place for no reason.
Possibly there for some, stargazing or something. I don't know.
Stargazing. We're
I
not
don't
playing
think he was
Sims.
there just waiting to catch them kissing in
Yeah,
between pasta.
so he could freak out. Anyways,
He
yeah,
already freaked out.
this man lost his damn mind.
He has lost his mind.
He has. I did think that JR and Sandy's relationship, especially in the beginning, I was like, okay, this could be the couple
Yeah.
that hooks up after this and ruins it all. And honestly, I felt like he didn't deserve Zaina anyways. I thought she was too classy for JR. You're a
Hmm.
nice looking guy, but she deserves better. And then Nick is just a psycho. So I really would not mind if this happened.
I was hoping for this as well, and I was equally hoping that Nick would end up with Vanessa because at first
Mhm.
they seemed like such a great couple too. And Vanessa and her silent man, angry man, just didn't seem like they were a very good thing. So
Yeah.
I thought, what a perfect situation. This couple can actually uncouple into another couple, and which we've never seen before on the Ultimatum. So I was so excited for all of it. And then Nick had
Yeah.
to go and screw it all up with his emotional instability and obsessions over Sandy, who's not even right for him.
No, she's not
And
right
he
for him
should know that with
at
how
all.
easily he connected with Vanessa. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, we're weirdos. We're both so weird." And that was very annoying, by the way. I don't know if I could have tolerated that for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, that's all that they had was that they were just quirky and outliers and weird, which I don't really know what makes them so much so. They look like normal people to me, just with, I mean, everyone's got their own hobbies and stuff, so I
They're
don't know.
just more artistic and creative, but that doesn't really make them
Weird.
or rejects or weird or misfits or whatever. Maybe I just wasn't catching what they were.
I mean, I am a strange person and I'm very artistic, but I'm not like
You're necessarily a misfit, like he's trying to describe
I wouldn't.
himself as.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that being artistic makes you a misfit. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, look at him. Just look at him. He's always angry. He's always upset. I don't even know why he would sign up for such a thing, knowing that he's such a jealous person, because he is. He's a very, very jealous person.
You could tell in his facial expressions at the little dinner he was giving Marshall, he could not stop his face.
Yeah.
Even Vanessa had to comment and be like, what's going on with your face over there? Use your words.
Yeah. If you got one of the Lachey's coming at you, that means you're really being obvious. So he spent his time, Nick, his alone time, doing absolutely nothing productive other than obsessing over his relationship and getting the same tattoo as JR. Like, how does that happen on accident?
Because people are so dumb. Americans specifically. I think this is a weird trend. I mean, maybe just because I live in America, but I don't know any other country or people who speak any other religion that are getting the wrong English words tattooed on them. But Americans love to go around and get different languages that they've never seen, don't understand, don't know the context of, and think that they know what it means. And then they get it tattooed on themselves and it means something completely different.
Well, this man got his tattoo in English, but he didn't even look. My thing is,
it's in some kind of script, though. It's not.
It's full English. It says, "Fortune comes to the something."
Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah,
but it's not in English.
No, it's in English on his arm. I watched this twice.
I feel it. Okay.
There's a huge zoom in part where they show the tattoo as the tattoo guy is doing it, and in fact, there was two different outlines. So it looked like he was going to put it in one spot, and then they changed their mind and put it in a different spot. Mm-hmm. But it does say fortune favors the some. What'd you say?
The brave.
The brave, whatever. Mm-hmm. How you see the outline? How can you say it was supposed to say something totally different? You're like, oh, it was supposed to say love conquers all. What?
That's why I thought it was in a different language, because Dude's is in a different language that goes like this. His is in some kind of script. It doesn't say it in English.
Yeah, his was English.
JR's.
Yeah, but Nick's was definitely. I'm not sure.
Well, that's why then I don't know how in the world he got it wrong. Like, how do you say fortune favors the brave to somebody and then they put something, or the other way around, and then they put something completely different? That's why I thought it was a different language, because how in the world do you mistake English?
Well, according to Nick, he sent the guy the photo. So he sent him the wrong photo.
Okay.
And then the guy just drew it up.
Right.
But you're not going to watch somebody draw it on your arm before you get it tattooed to make sure that it's correct.
Well, that didn't look like a tattoo, though. That looked like the ink that they put on before the tattoo, the stencil-y part. Yeah. It was all blue. So why can't you take that off and
That's what I'm saying. He could have looked at it when it was just a stencil and been like, wow, this is the wrong one. I sent you JR's tattoo.
Well, okay, so that was his whole thing, though, is he said that he had a moment when he realized that was the wrong tattoo, that I have realized now that I need to stop focusing on Sandy and I need to start focusing on myself. And that's what he said. He had like an epiphany at that moment. So I get him keeping it, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing was confusing. And then when he told everyone about it, he didn't even like share the whole story. He allowed this man, JR, to just think that Nick is obsessed with him. And I hate that, because JR is full enough of himself.
I do wonder how he got the same tattoo idea, but I guess.
Because they're all stupid little man sayings. If you just Google a stupid man saying, then 16 other stupid man sayings will come up.
You're so right. That and tribal tattoos back like 10 years ago.
It's just, they're all dumb.
Yeah, well, this guy, I don't know. He wasn't completely convincing me that everything he did was a mistake. I mean, it was in English. He could have looked over. Like there's just there's so many ways to prevent it. And the man, even when he was getting a tattoo, he was like this, like not looking. And it's like, who does that?
be so careless. I'm sorry. If I'm sending a picture of the tattoo that I'm going to put on my body, I am double checking the picture.
Mhm.
I'm double checking the stencil that happens beforehand. And I'm watching that motherfucker. I'm watching that guy put it on my body. I don't care if it's on my back. Give me a mirror or two.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not about to have no regrets on my ass.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, so Nick then finds out about, was it one kiss when he had his meltdown?
Yeah, from Starbucks.
Yep, he found
Yeah.
out in Starbucks that they had kissed one time, one peck, and this man lost his marbles in the room. He then decided to take it upstairs. He found where they were, started banging on. I don't know what his end game was. Did he think she was just going to run out there with him? Do you really
I think
think
he just
Netflix is going to
wanted to
let that
talk to
fly
her.
after 4 people just left?
I think he just wanted to talk to her, but yeah, I can see why JR was saying absolutely not. And I don't know, she seemed to be happy to
He
have
liked it.
these men doing this.
Just like that
So,
commenter said, I kind of caught a giggle as well.
yeah. Yes, she seemed to be okay with the whole situation, but I don't know. It just gave me damsel in distress, and JR had to save her kind of thing, and I don't think that that's cute, nor do
Uh-uh.
I think that it's accurate. I don't know, but maybe he is just crazy.
Possible.
Possible.
Possible. Yeah, but he had his whole meltdown, and then, like you said, that affected the rest of their trial. But I still think that they had a decent, like, enough connection. I still think they were way more physical than I've seen anybody else on the show other than Queer Love.
Mm-hmm.
And
Queer
yeah,
love.
I don't know. They were giving for me, and I think I just like the messiness, and they just brought me some messiness. I don't really like JR that much as a person, but I did find him entertaining.
Yeah, he was entertaining enough. They definitely did the job. I wouldn't say that they necessarily carried the show. PF 819 says she's a pick me. Yeah, that's definitely very true.
Yeah.
Um, so and honestly, I think if there's a definition of a pick him, I mean, it would be him. He just wants to be that guy.
He wants to be picked.
He does. He wants to be chosen.
He wants to be picked so bad.
Yeah, and I get the whole everybody's childhood affects everyone, and it seems like he had a hard time and was sort of
Yeah.
rejected by people. So I'm glad that he feels good now and has the confidence and all of that. But gosh, why? Stop it.
I just
Leave me alone.
look at him.
It's the drip for me. It's a little too much drip.
He wears that chain everywhere. It's got to
Yeah,
be heavy.
yeah, heavy, real
And I love
heavy.
me some jewelry,
Please,
but yeah,
somebody help him. His
he's
neck
the.
hurts. And
It
heavy.
seems like he used to be overweight too, and then he lost a lot of weight by doing his workouts. So now he's a trainer and all that. So
Yeah.
he's also
Mhm.
got that little bit of ego as well. He
Yeah.
was very possessive almost of Sandy. Like he was calling her babe. He was kind of
His
like
wife. He kept referring to her as his wife. Even talking to, what's his name, Nick? I keep forgetting his name.
he was
Talk,
begging to be with his
talking to
freaking wife,
Sandy's
though.
man. All, oh well, you're coming into our apartment with my trial wife. Blah blah blah. No,
It's like this
no.
is this guy's girlfriend.
Yes, let's be real about what this really is right now, okay? If we were
Yeah.
not in this little social experiment, then you would just be in a house with my girlfriend, not letting me in.
Yeah, like well, honestly, I don't know if he would care if Zaina was doing the same thing or worse,
No, I
to be
don't think so.
honest. I
No,
think he's
I
a
don't.
FB. I think he's a fuckboy, honestly. I hate
Totally.
that. I
Well,
hate to
so was
swear it, but
Sandy. So was
yeah.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandra, isn't that her real name?
Sandra
Sandra.
with an
You know,
O.
I cackled when Sandy and JR they get in bed the very first night and she just looks at him with these eyes and she's like, "So what's your name?" What do you mean what's your
Been
name?
there. Oh,
Oh man.
well, I guess she's been calling him JR, so maybe she's wondering
Well,
like what the full name is. But
yeah, that was, and that's what he goes by.
yeah.
But I'm done.
Oh man, the interesting thing with JR to me, other than him I don't know, him being so like whatever. He says he's like into fashion. He says like he's all these things, but I don't know, you just don't get too much out of him. Like it seems like he's there, he's a little bit vulnerable with Sandy, but you don't really get too much out of him of why his past relationship didn't work.
Yeah.
He's well, he says there was cheating. He doesn't say who was cheating. That's the catch. That's what everyone on Reddit noticed, is that he mentions that there was cheating in the relationship, but was it him? Was it her? Was it both of them?
Gotcha.
I see it as maybe she cheated on him, or he thought she was cheating, so then he cheated, because I don't believe this man doesn't retaliation cheat. But, you know.
Oh yes, he brings the petty to the table.
The way he got with Sandy and kissed her so quick while everybody else respected their relationships, like, bye.
Very true.
I really hope that if Zaina like got engaged to him or whatever, when she's doing all this rewatching or whatever of all this stuff, she has learned a lot about this man and why this probably wasn't going to work for her. Because
she needs to go and find herself a nice man, a nice Caleb.
Yeah, like that whole like Cheyenne with Zach, it's like the same thing. Like what are they doing with these men?
Yeah, that's exactly it. This is her Zach.
This is her Zach, but Zach
worthless.
But Zach, I guess, at least was smart enough to put a ring on it. Like he knew what he had.
He had to trap this girl. Just no. I vote no. I hope that we see a Sandy and JR just for the sake of Zaina. Yeah, I know it's gonna hurt now, but later it will feel much better.
Yep. At the end of the episode, we do get Sandy and JR, or the episode 8, I should say, and they meet up right before they do the engagements or whatever. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like I just have this feeling that they're gonna like kind of skedaddle together, go hook up, and then I don't think they're gonna last. I think they're gonna come back to this reunion saying, "Well, we tried it for a little bit, but it didn't really work out. Whatever. We're still friends."
If we've ever seen a couple get together from the Ultimatum, I think it will be this couple. I still don't exactly know. Production kept doing things, especially there was a date between Zaina and JR when they got back together that he sort of slipped in this idea of maybe I'd leave you for Sandy, and then he sort of acted like it was a joke. But Netflix did the music, the whole like serious music when that happened. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when that happens, I always feel like production's trying to trick me into thinking that that's what might happen. And then they showed us JR with the cliffhanger. So I feel like they're trying to make it more dramatic than it actually is. But I would not be shocked if we were here next week talking about this and these two ended up together. In fact, I would be happy for Zaina. And I would be happy for Sandy for getting out of her relationship, because I really thought that, Vanessa and what's his name could have been a cool little trial relationship too. I think all these couples actually don't belong together, this little grouping of couples.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is the season where I don't think anybody should be getting engaged to each other. Not a single one of them. Like, not even Caleb and Mariah. I just think he's a better match with Aria.
I think so too. I think they're both just way too quiet. I wonder about their backgrounds. They do way too much damn therapy talk with each other. There's too much holding space. There's too much feeling heard and talk. There's just too many jargon lingo. I wonder if they're both studying psychology or something.
Well, she says she over communicates and she thinks that that's like the right
She's reading a whole damn book about how to be in a better relationship, and I get that that's the vibe right now, that's what they're going for, but there was too much of that in their conversations. Like Caleb didn't have that in his conversations with Aria. He was gentle and he communicated well, and he behaved in a way that was therapeutic, but he didn't talk like a therapist like him and Mariah talk. They talk like therapists trying to date each other. It's really weird.
They did, and it seemed like they just didn't have as much fun. They got way too serious. Like it just seems really serious with them. Yeah, and I'm not really a fan of them together. I like them both individually. I just think they both could just have a little bit more fun if they just dated other people. But
I think so. As a person who takes life too seriously, I need my husband to be a maniac.
although I definitely think these people are going to find out one day that they share common ancestors.
I think it's their eyes. They just have those sleepy eyes.
They do. They have like a similar face.
Yeah.
Like they do. I was like,
Similar
wow.
face.
Yeah. I don't know. They're cute together, but they do kind of low key look like siblings, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to be getting the possible engagements next season. Is there anything you want to touch on that I'm missing? What do you think?
I don't really think so. I know I'm a little hopeful for the JR situation with Sandy. I've never met that man.
I know I've never met that man either. It's Micah.
Like truly, we never had an introduction. We've never met this man. He was in and then he was out.
He was
And
around.
actually, I got a little sidetracked, but I thought it was hilarious to see him and Mariah on their first night together.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
so robotic and strange. It was, how do you do your laundry? Do you want to share laundry? What do you do in the morning? I play a vinyl, and oh, that would be nice. No wonder they left.
I think him and Mariah are very similar because they're both like that. Like, even when he was talking one-on-one, like with Netflix, he's like, I'm going on a date right now. This is weird. I can see my ex over there. I miss Chanel. I love Chanel. It was so weird. Like,
How in the world did this man get someone who looks like Chanel?
I did feel bad for him in this scene, though, when he was like, just take care of her. I was like, damn, he did not. I feel like he did not need to be here. Like,
That part too. That's another thing that I wanted to address. I thought it was so funny when Chanel got up in the middle of the night the first time. And I was so confused seeing all these nighttime 3 a.m. I'm sitting there like, what the hell is
always
going
3
on?
a.m.
Am I missing something? Because it happened for a minute and then some scene went on and then they all disappeared. But yeah, I just felt so bad for who's that guy that was with Chanel? Dave.
Oh, yeah. Dave.
Because Dave, he was really sweet. Chanel's all, oh, I'm just gonna leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. And Dave, well, do you think you know where you're going? And let me know if something doesn't feel right and give me a call and I'll just be up because I'm worried now because your man's is gonna kick my ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So
was cute.
this is a Reddit comment actually that talks about Micah a little bit. It says, I mean, you could see it on Micah's face the moment he sat at the table. Dude would rather be getting a root canal. He hated being there and his eyes looked vacant. Dave as well. I literally called it from the jump, and that both of those guys were not interested in being there. That coupled with Nick and Sandy leaving or having some weird relationship and possibly it causing Vanessa to feel uncomfortable, I could see why they left. The impression I get, it is this dynamic that happens a lot with Sandy, with flirting with guys and making Nick get all crazy and possessive. She says she loves being pursued, and nothing makes Nick chase her harder than her dangling a guy in his face. Eventually, they probably reconcile until he starts becoming complacent and she does it again.
Sure, I could see that.
I can definitely see that being a very valid theory on that, especially like, the dudes not wanting to be there. So many of them did not want to be there.
Right.
So, and you can just tell. But I am curious on what you think about. So, when we have covered other shows, whenever a white girl specifically says that she is interested in, black men or whatever, people go crazy on her. They say she's a fetishist or whatever the thing is. But I have a feeling about JR because the whole time he was like trying to date Sandy or whatever, he just kept making a point of it being his first white girl. And he's so curious about getting with a white girl. He's usually with mixed girls.
It's not his
It
first white
can't
girl.
be. It can't
Not
be.
someone who's so obsessed. I think he said multiple times he talked about having mixed babies. If you strictly date black women as a black man, you're not thinking about mixed babies. It's not crossing your mind.
He's saying that he dates mixed women. Like he dates he says Zaina is Hispanic and black. And he
Right.
says that some Arya, I think, similar as well, or something like that. So I don't know if he means mixed babies like with a white
In
person or
that way.
like Hispanic
Possibly.
or something like that. Yeah, but he's, I think, almost fetishizing her being a white girl.
But her family was doing the same thing. Her family made me feel so damn uncomfortable when she met her
Yeah,
family,
you're
and they were all looking at his body. All, what kind of tattoos do you have? It was creeping me out. I was like, have you all ever seen a man before? Just a man.
Y'all have never seen this before.
Get out of here with that picture. No, none of those women have ever seen a man before. They've only seen a Nick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and Nick's not much of a man to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And JR is a beautiful man. I don't want to not give JR his flowers. He obviously works very hard on his body. He looks good. I'm not mad at JR, but
Mhm.
I think his ego is too big, and also I cannot believe the way that Sandy's family was just looking at this man like he was an animal in a zoo. Just look at your arms and your tattoos and all. Did you guys do this to Nick? Nick has tattoos. I feel like
it's giving,
it's predatory. Like scary. Like I would be scared.
it's giving, we've never seen y'all kind before. It's giving, you speak very well.
Yes, it was freaking me out. I'm like, you
Well,
guys, this is not the first time that JR has dated a white
yeah.
girl, despite what he says, but it may be the first time that Sandy has dated a black man, just based on her
Or at least
family.
brought him home.
Yes, they were all just. Oh!
I noticed that too, and I thought that was so weird. But
I didn't know if that was just me, but yeah, I just couldn't help, now that we brought it up, but to bring it up because I felt uncomfortable for him. It just didn't
being
feel right. It felt like
being
they
a
were
white girl.
predators.
Well, we've both dated black men, so being white girls who
Yeah.
have brought black men home, I've never gotten that reaction from my parents. So
No.
never them petting and being like, "Oh, what tattoos you have? Look at."
And that's the thing. That's makes me feel like it's just predatory and like overly like
Mm-hmm.
you have some kind of ownership over touching you. If you don't touch Nick's tattoos, then why are you touching JR's tattoos that way? That's the part I don't get. What is it about the difference here that makes you
Yeah.
think that you are entitled to touching these people?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So, I will say actually, when it comes to JR in general, I don't know, obviously, who he picked
See,
or whatever.
sorry, PF18 can't stand the picture either. Take it away.
The thing with JR, I think that's what was I gonna say?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I've just noticed on social media because I started kind of following some of these people. He does tend to like Zaina's posts still, quite a few of them, and Sandy. So he could be in a mess, or he could be trying to get Zaina back after all this or whatever. I don't
I
know.
think a man like him could not stand the idea of leaving alone, right? Especially when he was flushed with options. So I'm sure he's trying really hard to realign those options. And
Right,
so
and he's the only one who is saying that leaving with Sandy is an option. He'll be like, I can either get married to Zaina, or I could leave with Sandy, or I could leave alone. And I'm like, why is leaving with Sandy such an option that you have to repeat it 4 times?
I think he's been wiggling that in there just so that if it does happen, it doesn't shock Zaina so much. But she can't even fathom the idea. She won't even consider it. She would be shocked. And I think she would be devastated, but I wouldn't be devastated for her. I would rejoice.
I would be happy for her. I think she deserves like a nice Beverly Hills doctor.
Yes.
or something. I don't know. I mean, the way that family dates, but honestly, I just think she's a cousin. She's got to be Cheyenne's cousin. So
I think she is related in some way.
hmm and they be calling her Z, and Cheyenne's got a sister named R. So like they got the whole alphabet over there in that family.
They do. They sure do. Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, what are your predictions then of
Okay,
what do you think?
predictions.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
Let's
see.
actually go by couple again. Let's see. Let's
Yeah,
go on the top. Let's have fun with this.
love
We're
it.
gonna have some fun.
Gonna have some fun.
All right, these two.
Our
Do you think they'll get engaged?
favorite saying, let's do it. Let's be bad.
Let's be bad. Let's do it.
These two are gonna get engaged, unfortunately.
You
And
think
I
so?
I don't think they're gonna be married by the reunion. I do think they'll still be together, and I don't think they're gonna be very serious about getting married. Maybe.
I think that they could get engaged, but I just wish he'd date Arya. But they're the ones I ship the most is him and Arya because I just loved their relationship. But I do think that him and Mariah here will get engaged. In fact, when they showed like the girls, I guess we could talk about the girls and guys nights. We didn't really get into that, but the girls night I thought was interesting when Arya was trying to talk to her and she got kind of pissy.
She did.
She didn't really want to hear about anything she could work on, which I think is like kind of the opposite of what you're there for. I mean, you're not able to do the trial marriage, but at least when someone's giving you feedback about your partner, like I think she should have really took that in a little bit more. But she kind of got a little bit defensive. She tried to explain it right away, but
I think it's such a hard situation too because you are taking in this information from somebody who you're going to be inherently jealous of. And so it's just hard, I think, to receive that information. I'm not saying, I don't think that Arya did anything wrong by trying to have that conversation, but I just don't think she's the right medium for that. I think dude needs to, when they come back together, have those conversations about their relationship. Again, I think that was just a natural thing, and I'm sure the whole conversation was set up by production. So what else are they going to talk about? But I can see why she's defensive there. It would be hard for me to take feedback about myself from someone who is living with my husband, even if they're right.
Yeah, and I don't really think any of these couples should get engaged, but this is the only semi-acceptable engagement to me.
Well, and when we go through these and I say they probably will get engaged, that doesn't mean I'm personally stamping it, but I am predicting that I think they get engaged. This show always baffles me, the amount of people who don't walk away at the end. I know we're not seeing their full relationship. I know a lot of them have been together for a long time, but so many couples get engaged on this show that I don't think should even be together, let alone planning a wedding. So
especially last season.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm shook every time I see these men get on their knees, and then equally shook every time I see these women say yes.
Say yes, yeah. Especially like Roxanne last season. I was like, I know she's gonna say yes, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
She doesn't want to get married. So it's like, I feel like part of it is just, there's probably so much pressure once you've been doing this whole thing for 8 weeks. And it's like, do you really want to break up, or do you want to have some time to sort of decompress with your partner? And then maybe you guys break up in a couple of months or something and you happen to be engaged. I think people should walk away alone, but I think if you walk away alone, it's going to hurt your partner more, even if it's for a show, rather than just saying yes to an engagement, even if you don't mean it. So I think too many people get engaged on this show.
And then half of them don't work out. I think actually Roxanne and MGK did get married.
I know that they were actually working towards a plan at some point, which took them a long time too. But she wasn't wearing her ring and stuff at the reunion and all. Yeah, that was drums.
And they dragged her for that too.
She should have been dragged for that.
She should have. It's a show about your damn engagement. Well, I mean, it's a show where you got engaged on it. Just show up with your ring. Like, who cares if it clashes with your outfit? Like,
it's so weird.
Or whatever. I keep it in the box.
And then she's just holding it around. I'm done.
She just carries it with her in the box.
She's so last season.
Anyways, What do you think about these ones? Do you think they'll get married or engaged, I should say?
So, because he's the one who gave the ultimatum, I do think he's still going to ask Arya to marry him, and I unfortunately think she's going to say yes as well. I don't think she's going to go try to be with Caleb, and I don't think she is mad enough right now to leave this stupid man.
Yeah, I do think she's going to say yes, but I do think she's going to wish she was with Caleb. The whole time when they were even at that parent thing, like she was just googly eyeing him and everybody loved him. And I just think he's going to be so hard to top with her parents. They're all going to be like, where's that Caleb guy?
Well, how in the world do you be with your man and then just be wishing out loud even that he was like a whole other man? And you've got that man in front of you. I think she should have been more bold a little bit and maybe a little more direct about what she wanted with Caleb, because I think they would be a really wonderful couple. Yeah. And I don't even think we're going to get a moment with Caleb and her, because they were so platonic and had such a friendship. They didn't really have any intimacy at all other than, their hand holding situations. But I don't think we're going to get a moment with them before this engagement like we are going to get with JR and Stacey.
Right. No, I can see that. Yeah. I do think that they will probably get engaged just because he is who he is. But I don't think that the engagement is going to hold up over time unless he does a huge turnaround. And what is this suit? Why is his suit giving me a stroke?
Yeah.
Can someone tell me why the suit is giving me a stroke?
It looks like static.
It does.
Yeah.
And I will say, you know what's funny? Him and Zaina, they were like bickering and all that. You know how they at the end it was just like she left even because she couldn't be around him anymore. And then when they show the couples walking back in to like have their reunion with their partner or whatever, him and Zaina had coordinating outfits. Like she kind of like they low-key matched. And I'm like, did y'all plan this ahead of time or something?
Possible.
They were strange because I do like what I like about Zaina is that she's very good about, even though they weren't getting along, of honing him back and being like, we still had a good experience, like you said earlier. Right. This does not define us. I loved when she hugged him and said that. Yeah. In fact, I also really liked that hug after the initial JR fight that he had, and he thanked her for trying to figure it out, because he did come in hot, and then she was able to get him to see like, okay, I'm being a little much. And he does need that. I will say that's the one quality I think he needs in a person that I wish Arya could do for him, and maybe they'd have a little bit more balance, is somebody who can call him out and he can actually internalize it. Because he was doing that with Zaina for a while until the toilet conversation. That man's going to be dreading the fact that he sat on that toilet for all that, because all of the photos of him mad on a toilet.
I know. I had to, when I was first watching it, I looked up and I was like, is he arguing on the toilet? I had to, check and make sure his pants were on. I was so confused.
Let me find a better photo of these ones. All right, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the couples. The couples.
The couples.
I just gotta find a better picture of those two, because the main one I have is so damn grainy. Let's see. Them. Will they get engaged?
You go first.
I know I'm conflicted, because if he leaves with Sandy, or if Sandy wants anything to do with him, I don't think so. I don't see this man proposing. Now, if he proposes, I think she'll say yes, because of the trial marriage that they had. It seemed like it went okay. Like, she bought him all that Eagle stuff. She put all those balloons up. She seems like she's kind of like low-key love bombing him since she got back.
She does. I think she definitely, as the ultimatum goes, she's the one who gave the ultimatum. I think she wants him more than he wants her, for sure. Which, again, it just makes me sad for her. She deserves better.
Right. So I kind of think it's 50-50. I think it really depends on JR. Like, it really depends on his mindset going in. I am leaning more towards him not proposing, because I think this man has issues with commitment. I think just these few weeks, if anything, it's made him more confused, probably,
Right.
than anything, because now he's had this whole other girl, in front of him, and now he,
I think right now, for where Sandy's at in her life and where JR's at in his life, I think they're a better match for each other right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in 5 years or so, these two would be a better match, but I don't think
He'll never be
Zaina
at that
has
level.
5 years.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever be at that level. But I do, one thing we did not talk about that I would be probably good to bring up here anyways is, what did you think when him and Sandy were talking and he said that it's okay and women should post their man, but he shouldn't have to post his lady, and he likes that ladies comment on his stuff.
I forgot about why I disliked JR so much, because he's such an idiot. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't remember that. Yeah. That was a big deal to me. Like, even Sandy was like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not cool.
No one should be married, said PF 819. And I think we all agree with that. But unfortunately, like I was saying earlier, I think a lot more people get married on this show than should get married. I don't know about these two, though. I really don't. I don't know if he is going to get down on a knee for her after his experience with Sandy. I don't know if he's going to leave with Sandy, but I just don't see him more inclined to get engaged than he was before Sandy. I see him less.
I don't think he should, because I think he is now realizing that he's not over things that happened with his last marriage. So I think this man needs therapy for about a year or two before he even thinks about getting married. I understand, though, with Zaina being 32, wanting to settle down, start your life, have kids. In fact, I saw she was starting IVF. She did her little IVF freezing of eggs or something like that. So that makes me think that they didn't get married or engaged or anything like that. But
or if they did and he's just still not. I think a lot of his thing with getting married wasn't he the one that said, well, you don't want to have kids right away, which that doesn't mean you're gonna have kids right away. But
it doesn't mean that. And he's the kind of guy, I think, that's gonna get somebody pregnant before marrying them anyways right now, with the way he feels about marriage.
It that way. And at this point, I think she would too. I mean, she's ready to have a kid. I don't think she really cares if they're married. She just is like, hey, we've been together for 2 years. Are we gonna do it?
Yeah. Whatever. All right.
So are we making a prediction with them? Or are we gonna just say
I say it's 50-50. That's my prediction, is that for them it's 50-50.
Question mark.
They're more of a question mark. I guess I'm leaning towards no, because I don't think he'll actually propose. But if he proposes, yes. If I see the man get down on a knee with a ring, she's gonna say
they're gonna get engaged. Yes.
Now, will they last, especially after the season airs? Probably not. I don't think
she's real inclined to be forgiving with him.
She is. It's like one of her flexes during the show. Like, I'm so like they mention how forgiving she is, and it's like, girl, you can be forgiving, but don't be so forgiving to where you screw yourself over and you end up with somebody you shouldn't, because you're overlooking flaws with forgiveness.
Yeah. It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no from. I mean, I don't want them to get engaged, but will I be shocked if they do? No. Right. Just like, it's so up in the air. I feel like this is the one season where everything is so up in the air, like especially with him, Sandy, with these four, him, Sandy, Nick, and Zaina. So let's see, what do we think about the couple of the hour?
I think he's going to get on his knee for sure.
Right. Yes, he will. I think he's already tried.
Probably a couple.
In fact, he took that ring so quick that Netflix gave him, and people thought it was for Vanessa, but I think he was like,
I don't understand that damn ring that they handed out. Some of the people left him there. Some of the people took him. What were you gonna propose to your new trial?
I didn't know if they were fake rings or if they were real rings, or if they were for the trial marriage, or were they for later.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Because when they showed all those rings for them to pick from, they all kind of look like. cheapo
Yeah.
fake rings.
Well, and so that's why I was like, oh, maybe these are props. Like, all the girls are gonna wear them or something. And
But then
then
it's
a
never
lot of people
mentioned.
didn't take them.
And
So
nobody
then I was,
talks about it.
and then only one person was all mad about someone else took it, and so apparently that means something about something. So yeah, I was confused about the
Dave.
rings the whole
Dave
entire
was
time.
mad that Nick took it because he thought that meant Nick wanted to like propose to Vanessa or something. But
Right.
these looked like fake rings. I'm not sure if they were real, but it was a
Probably like
strange.
leftover Love is Blind rings, you know,
Yeah,
extra.
probably.
Just ones that got sent back or mailed back. I bet you,
Yeah.
who is it? Zenob's ring is somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was just a strange thing for them to throw in there, like party favors or something. Here's engagement rings. Like,
It was like a prop. And I'm sorry, I know we're playing with the idea of marriage and commitment and loyalty here, but it just felt like this whole wedding ring was a prop and it made it feel cheap and not quality.
I think that's what confused JR so much about her being his wife and stuff.
That's
The
probably
Netflix
true.
just get messy and confusing. But
They
all
are.
right, do you think though that she's gonna say yes if he proposes?
I feel like she shouldn't, but I think she's the type. I think she's more of a people pleaser than we think she is, and I feel like if someone asks her to marry him, I think she might just say yes.
And then break it
'Cause
off right after.
'cause she's crazy. Yeah, I don't think
Via
they should be
text.
together or want to be together, but I don't know, for some reason I can just see myself, I can visualize myself next Wednesday making the stink face because they're engaged.
Yeah. I think she's gonna say no,
Okay.
honestly. I
I'm
just
open to that.
I just feel that way because she seems disinterested in him more and more as the time goes on. They had like a moment where she cried in bed and he like was weirdly holding her face and stuff. But
Mhm.
other than that, we haven't seen too much. I can't see why they're together. You know, like I see them
I
say they
never
love each
could.
other, and I see
Yeah.
them say that they miss each other, and I see them say those things, but I don't see them actually being physically connected. She was way more physically connected with JR in those first few weeks. She
Well,
was.
and he even commented on that. He's like, "That's how you
Mhm.
used to talk to me and touch me." I never could see why they were together, but I just feel like on this show, I know I said this already, but if there's not a huge reason not to be together, then they just end up together.
Honestly,
She
I
could
think.
go for JR though. I think she's not going to leave alone. She's going to either run away with JR right away in the beginning, or she's
Mhm.
going, her and JR are a match made in heaven. I kind of, yeah, I kind of think we're saying this at the
Steroid
same time.
heaven.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah, it is.
I think she could run away with JR, and I would be happy to see it. I
I
would.
I will
It would
clap
be
at my TV.
It would be shocking to see, just because this is all we've been waiting for, really, for the ultimatum. Nobody's ever left their partner for their trial partner. So that would just be shocking to see in itself. And then to know
Except in
that,
Clear Love. Didn't she leave? Didn't they leave together, her and
I don't
Jolie?
think so. I think they just had a little moment in the trees and they decided not to be together. I think the girl did not get engaged either, but I
Yeah.
don't think they left together, the trial marriage
Oh my
people.
god, now I have to look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, it
While we're
wasn't one of their
discussing.
names Tiffany?
I know one was Jolie because that's like what stuck to me.
Yes, because of this one. Don't do that to me.
Isn't it her
Yes, but there's the song and it always gets stuck in my head.
name? Not Jolene. Jolie. Like
I know,
Angelina
but
Jolie.
it's too close.
Jolene. Hold on, let me say Jolie from
And I think Tiffany.
Ultimatum. Was that the other one's name? Is Tiffany? I keep wanting to say
I mean,
Amanda. It's
I'm not
Yoli, not Jolie. It's Yoly.
I'm not certain, but I'm
And
thinking
it's Xander.
Xander. But
Yep.
Tiffany was the other girl, right?
I think Tiffany might have been Xander's partner, but I'm
Trial
not sure.
partner. Okay.
Did they leave together? So it's been so long. Did you realize that Queer Love was just last year?
Yeah.
I felt like it was 3 years ago, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently they didn't get back together after the show, but I think I'm trying to remember if they actually left together. If any of you guys remember Queer Love, let me know because
I remember
can't remember.
Yoli got proposed to on the side of a cliff by that person, and that was not her trial partner. That was her original partner. So I really don't think they left together.
Yeah. So hold on a second. In a lot of drama. It says celebration. I don't know if they left together. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up. If anybody knows, let us know. I'm gonna have to look into it. I might have to rewatch that end.
I think if Sandy, I wouldn't mind rewatching the whole thing.
Queer
But
Love.
I think if Sandy leaves with JR, they will be the first couple to ever leave
really do
with
it.
a trial couple. I think so.
I'm for it. I mean, I think that it was interesting. I honestly think that they hooked up, but that's gonna come out in the reunion, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's why like it's kind of more vague right now, and they keep saying kissing, like they only kissed twice. When I've watched people kiss way more than twice, and even when they say we kissed twice, they acted like it was just one peck. No, these people did like 6 pecks in one kiss. Like it was.
Yeah, but do you call that 6 kisses, or do you just call that, like, if you're making out for 5 minutes, do you call that like 28 kisses, or do you just say kiss?
I would.
You would. You definitely would. I would.
I had 40 kisses today. They just really downplayed their relationship.
They
So
did.
I just thought that was interesting. In fact, girls' night, when little Miss Lana Del Rey knockoff over here came up to Zaina and tried telling her that she had nothing to worry about. I was like, girl, you are everything to worry about. What do you mean?
That's just...
Wait till this girl watches the season back and realizes how much there was to worry about.
To me, that's the thing. It's just, don't tell on yourself,
Don't
just
do that.
Don't be putting that stuff in people's heads, because now it's in their head.
Yeah, and it's just like if there was nothing to worry about, you would just come up to the conversation and just kind of talk about the trial marriage. Just be like, this is what we've been doing. This is what's been working. This is what hasn't, whatever. But she's going in there like, girl, I'm helping you out here. Like, I'm doing my best for you. She's acting like she's this girl's girl. Yeah. And I'm just like, girl, you ain't no girl's girl.
She's not, even when she met
and you don't even have to be. I'm so sick of these girls uniting on these shows, like being a girl's girl is just all that. No, you're on a dating show.
You are, and you're not dating each other. You're not hanging out in pods like the girls are in Love is Blind. These guys don't care to know each other, don't know nothing about each other. It's the other way around. I hate a girl, and Sandy is like this. I hate a girl who will flirt with a man who is taken by asking him how he's taking care of his woman. Are you cooking breakfast for her? Because you cooked breakfast for me. There's implications there. Like, if he's not cooking breakfast for her, that's because I was so great. And we don't need to say that, but I just know that. I hate that. I hate that.
Well, when they were talking about leaving each other, and he's like, that'd be so messed up if I cried over you and I didn't cry over breaking up with her. And she laughed.
I know, because she likes it. She likes it.
I'm just saying, like, it's not giving girls girl. You ain't Jessica, whatever. I can't stand the whole girls girl thing anyways anymore. Like, I understand, if you could grow a bond with somebody, you might want to respect them and stuff. But even on Love is Blind, you are competing for love. So why be a girl's girl with somebody you just met?
You don't have to tear people down. You don't have to go full on, Micah and what's her name type of Mean Girls, but just be neutral, be friendly, but you don't have to go out of your way to help anyone else out, because no one on a show like this is going to go out of their way to help you out. So
because they're a girl and you're a girl. Like,
we're girls.
We're girls. Like, no, that's not. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that. I just think that is like something that is being overly used, especially on Netflix these days. Ever since season what was the season 4?
Well,
or
ever since the
something?
Mean Girls, ever
Yeah,
since
season 4.
Micah and what's her name started being Mean Girls, then people had to swing the whole other way and just be like the sweetest, nicest girls to each other and the most supportive. Which again, I think women should support women, period. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you should, at the fault of yourself or like the detriment of yourself, support anyone else.
Right, like let's not be delusional like Hannah and calling somebody your best friend in the whole wide world that you just met 3 weeks ago.
So weird.
It's just strange how they're getting these girls to like fight. Like if you're attracted to a guy and that's like the guy for you, whether or not you gotta like on these shows, I'm gonna say not in real life, but if you're competing with another guy in a show, just because if the guy is right for you, the guy is right for you. Like you shouldn't have to be like, oh well, I'm a girl's girl, so I'm not gonna do that because no, I want to see it. I want to see the drama. Stop with the girls. I did not sign up for Spice Girls. I
Right.
signed
No,
up
that's so true.
for drama.
Yeah.
I have a Netflix subscription for drama, not
Yeah.
for Spice Girls.
Yeah. There's a whole movie for that called Spice Girls. Thank you.
Honestly, these girls always act like they're in a damn girl band every time that we see girls all together. And like even in this season, like they like you said, they don't hang out together that much. They do like a girls' night or whatever, but in this girls' night, they're all talking about how they're not a threat to each other and like they're helping each other do this and achieve that because most of them did give out the ultimatum, so they're all cringy. It's
Yeah,
just
I'm not a fan. I understand that some of the rule here, especially with the trial marriages, is to help their trial marriage partner, maybe be ready for marriage in some way, shape, or form. But the way that Sandy gets off on the whole, well, are you cooking for her and I don't believe you're putting the toilet seat down while she's flirting and giving him the eyes. That's just not cute to me. I don't think these two should be together, so I'm just going to just say no. They don't get engaged, but I don't know why yet.
I don't think they're going to get engaged. And I mainly think that because of the weird smirk she had on her face when it looked like he proposed. Like it looked like she was kind of like I already got to ride with JR after this. He's waiting for
JR
me
is waiting in the car. No, I think so. If your face looks like that when you're getting proposed to, you probably should say no. She did not look smitten. She looked
like she's up to something.
Yeah, she looked sneaky.
Mischievous.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get at least one engagement, possibly two in general. Like I don't think that the show is going to go off with no engagements as much as I think it should. But I do think at least one or two couples will get engaged by the end. I'm just not sure which ones.
Yeah.
Did you ever say real quick before we go why or what you thought about JR's comment about the social media?
That he's an idiot.
Huh?
That he's an idiot.
Oh, well, other than that, like what is there something where is this like a complex that some people have where like they like to be shown off but they don't like to show off? Like it's kind of like they want to play single or something, or
I mean, just being self-centered and egotistical. The fact that I just see, I can't go beyond idiot because it breaks my brain. But like, I don't the separation between what a man should do and a woman should do on social media. I think the fact that he has that in his brain says a lot about what he thinks of men and what he thinks of women in general, that women are property essentially to be claimed online and public, and that he is not anyone's property. And in fact, it demeans his value to society in his brain to be claimed by a woman, and vice versa, right? That women that are claimed actually rise in value. And I think that whole idea is disgusting personally, but that's what's going on in his brain with that statement.
Yeah, like I think it's one thing if you were to be like, I don't feel a need. I don't think either of us would have to put each other on social media. But when you're saying that the girl should and you don't have to,
that's the possessive part about it. The part that says your stock goes up when when we're together, but my stock goes down when I'm claimed by people, and that his ideas about value of men and women are connected to that. And like publicly claiming women because in your past you've been cheated on or there has been cheating or whatever, but women can't do the same and have that same security. They don't deserve it, or it's not valued or whatever. That makes me sick. I think he's a complete idiot for saying that.
Yeah. And I think it's also like he wants to look single, but he doesn't want his girl to look single. So it's like, yeah. I actually, when me and Dean first started talking or whatever, I should say kind of dating, I guess, like we were a little bit further along, we would have those conversations about social media. Like I wasn't sure whether or not to post them. And he was always like, I don't like to post my relationships. I don't really like being posted and stuff like that because he has dated around a lot, and girls I think he is also double dipped in dating, and girls would get a hold of each other and he would have a lot of drama because of that. So that just tells
and it's a red flag for sure. I mean, Dean overall is not a red flag, but that's a red flag, Dean.
I mean, everybody goes through their phases. I mean, he was a little bit of a hoe. But the interesting thing is that JR kind of has like a similar mindset to when Dean was when he was a hoe. So that makes me think that JR is just a hoe.
Well, and he wants to be a hoe right now. He doesn't, he said as much. He doesn't trust marriage right now. So if you don't trust a commitment, a marriage, that kind of thing, then you are on the other side of that and you're okay. Your ideas might be a little more flexible around committing in relationships. And that's fine. But he needs to be more honest with Zane.
I wish he was too. And I don't know if he's had that conversation with her, but I feel like if he had, that she wouldn't actually be trying to get married or anything like that. I think she would already broke up with him, and because she's 32, and I understand being 32 and feeling like you're on a timeline and on a ticking time clock. And if you're with a guy for 3 years, yes, I mean, it's about time to have some kind of, you either propose to me or we're done kind of thing. Because I need to get myself where I want to be in life. And it's not just, I can love you as much as I can love anybody. But if you're not going to put me further where I want to be in life, then it's not going to work. And with him, he's so focused on his past and he's focused on his playing around. Like, I think he just really wants to be a guy that has a girl, but at the same time wants to be able to do what he wants. He wants his cake and eating it too. And that's what it's given this whole season. Is that
that's not a man that's worth marrying.
No,
or chasing and trying to convince to marry you, especially when you're Zaina.
Right. And didn't you think he was so strange during their trial marriage, him and Zaina? Like, it seemed like he was trying to overly sell the idea of getting back with Zaina on him.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I found this picture on Google, but I'm pretty sure it's on his Instagram.
I'm sure it's on his Instagram.
This is where I want to leave it off.
Oh, of course you do. What was the question?
Crap, what was the question? I got distracted by his.
So did I.
His cleavage
and his drip.
I think it's gonna bother me now.
I know.
I'll hear it on the replay, I'm sure. I don't know if I'll actually watch this replay, but
hang on.
If you're not gonna put me further where I want to be in life. What was it that I asked? Oh, look at you. And with him, he's so focused on his past and he's focused on his playing around. Like, I think a little behind the scenes for you, ChickChatters. A guy that has a girl, but at the same time we're watching the content we're creating right now.
It's so meta.
Is that so meta?
No, and pacing and trying to convince to marry you, especially when
you just have to know what I asked. If any of you guys remember and want to help me during their trial, like, it seemed like he was trying to overly sell the idea of getting back with Zaina. Okay, yes. So do you think that he was just a little bit too much during that trial marriage where it felt like he was trying to like oversell himself or kind of just make it seem like everything was great with them, but you could tell he just kept thinking about Sandy? The man is obsessed.
Why did you say thank you for watching question mark?
Oh, I meant to put an exclamation mark. Well, there you are watching.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, okay, to answer your question, I actually thought he was trying to undersell his connection to Zaina when they got back together. I thought he was talking too much about Sandy and that he felt he wouldn't even look her in the eyes. He wasn't touching her very much. I thought he was trying to sort of end it before it ends kind of thing.
Did you think it was interesting when Zaina asked him about like just kind of diving deeper with her, being more vulnerable, and what he tells her, something he told Sandy on the very first date? So does that mean she went 3 years without this information
Possible.
that Sandy got on the first date?
Possible. He kind of
Throw
strikes
the man
me
away.
he strikes me as a Clay type, you know, who just didn't know that he didn't know himself until he went through a crazy experience like this. And so maybe there are things that he's realizing he needs to be sharing with his partners.
Throw the man away.
I'm done with it.
I'm done with him. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We've been on here for way too long talking about this, but we were all over the place. So sorry about the back and forth. Honestly, I didn't even get to watching the season until like 2 days ago. So that's why I'm kind of all over the place. But
yeah, it's all been a blur for us. We just, I think, what was it, Sunday or Monday or something? We're like, oh, the Ultimatum. Wednesday. Yeah. Like, I don't even know what day.
I think it was Wednesday, actually. Yeah. And then I started watching Wednesday, and then into yesterday, I finished it. So, yeah, I didn't even know the season was here until this week.
But I've been entertained. I'm happy it's here. We needed a little something different. So, thanks for everyone who watches on the replay. If you watched this entire thing on replay,
bless your heart.
That's amazing. That's just great. Incredible.
That's dedication. Yeah.
And for everyone who popped on while we're live as well, and especially to PF819 and User Alien, thanks for always coming in and saying hi and participating in our lives.
Y'all are awesome.
True OGs.
True OGs. Real chick chatters.
Real life chick chatters.
Real life chick chatters.
All right. We're tired.
All right. Well, y'all have a blessed one. We will catch you next week we'll probably go live again next Friday.
Can we get rid of him and say goodbye to our people?
I wanted him to say goodbye.
No.
All right. Well, we will catch you guys probably next week, probably next Friday, to kind of go over the last 2 episodes. We assume these last 2 episodes are the finale and the reunion. So it should be a big live.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't think this big, but just big in
bigger, not longer.
Bigger, not longer.
Yes. Well, remember to like, follow, share, subscribe, especially if you're here still.
Yeah.
And reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna. And goodbye.
Goodbye, JR. See you next week, JR.
Goodbye.
And ChickChatters.
Bye, y'all.
Oh my God.